Just get this going. Okay, and you know you have 2 DLLs. Everybody's putting their own notes, okay?
Yeah.
Let me just make sure that I save that one, okay.
There you go. So, this is my box. I figured I'd start off with telling you guys the most insightful insight you'll ever need to know. You guys want to hear it?
Yeah.
I think I'll save it for the end, I guess. I'll turn it over. This one, I actually used an old peanut jar, some mixed nuts. And I was going to take the sticker off so it'd be all clear, but then I thought, this is kind of an insight because classrooms, much like this jar, are full of extra fancy, premium quality mixed nuts. All right, like every kid's different. Every kid, is going to be learning different, going to think different, going to be interested in different things. So that's one insight I have from this class. Another insight, and the rest of mine, they wouldn't fit because all my strategies are taking up the box. So this is the spare bags outside the box. My other insight, this is actually, in case you care, it's a certificate I got for attending a professional development training for the Boys and Girls Club. And I think it's important that we as teachers continue to always be going to conferences, workshops, stuff like that, always learning. So it helps us, be lifelong learners, which helps us model that for the kids. If they see, oh, he went to school and did this, they'll be excited about it. My third insight is that you should always keep the developmental needs of the children in your class in mind when you're making your lesson plans. And this also goes along with Dixie's black dot on the nose thing. But I brought my Daisy Duck hat. And this just, if you're wearing this hat, you have instant street cred with little kids. They look at you and they're like, they only want to look at you. They're not going to be talking to other people. Another insight we had came the other day when we had our middle school teacher come in, and she said that middle school teachers need to have thick skin. Just like this baby. Right? He's got really thick skin. It's made out of plastic. You're not going to cut him. All right? You can say all you want to him. Your words are not going to cut his body. My next insight is that kids need to have structure. They got to have it because they're not old enough, in most cases, and mature enough to structure their learning styles for themselves. So we got to provide that structure. So I brought in this apron, which is like the structure of the inside of your body, right? So that symbolizes structure. Oh, and my last insight is actually in here, so I'm going to take it out. I put it in. Oh, no, I didn't put it in. I put it in the bag, sorry. That was a failure to prepare. This guy, the backstory about this little guy is actually Ganesh. He's a Hindu god. And the insight I had was that social experience allows learners to test their schemes against those of others. And this guy, Ganesh, actually, Hindus pray to him because they believe that he stamps out impediments in their lives because he's a big elephant. So that's symbolic. So you guys ready to see the last most important insight? The most insightful insight you'll ever need to know. You guys ready to see it? By show of fingers holding up 1 to 5, 5 being very interested, 1 being not interested. How interested are you in seeing this most insightful insight you'll ever know? Okay, I'm going to save that for the end though. Strategies. My first strategy is the tabula rasa, the blank slate. And we actually, at the Boys and Girls Club, we were in our summer training given the opportunity to make our own tabula rasa, which expressed ourselves. So here's mine. And it's just kind of, this is like me. It says Sin B El Rayon, because that's like my nickname is El Rayon. And Sin B means without B, because lots of the little kids at the club, I've been working there 2 years, and they still call me Brian. And I'm always like, no B, Ryan. Ryan. And this also, I got the inspiration from this shirt from all our classes because I wrote fierce in like a bunch of different languages, just to, so kids see different languages and like, oh, well, that's what fierce looks like in German. So that's my tabula rasa. And that's me with the Lucha Libre mask on, if you were wondering. My second strategy is, I can't remember what the name of it is, but there was a movie back in the 80s, and it was like they were like flying airplanes, and dude's like Maverick was his name. Top Gun. Exactly. Cue and prompt. It's my second strategy. And to show that, I brought this flag. Top Gun. I love that movie. I used to ride around on my big wheel and pretend I was Maverick and my brother was Goose. My third strategy, everyone else already kind of had this, but I brought a glove in and a pair of scissors somewhere. Because Dixie was saying, it's hard to like cut stuff out when you have gloves on because kids are clumsy. My next strategy is I brought in this guy, and he is a little Costa Rican man, which some people, and I even kind of find these like kind of racist, kind of offensive, but I thought it was cute at the same time because not all Costa Ricans are like drinking lots of rum and have their pants half down. But I brought this in to symbolize on his arm, it says Costa Rica, Pura Vida. And that means life is beautiful or like life is pure. And that just shows that, in order to teach to ELL learners, you need to understand their culture. And if you're just like pressing a Costa Rican to work hard, they're probably going to get burnt out because they're used to like chilling out because life is beautiful and they enjoy it. That's how they roll. My next strategy, I was debating whether or not to bring this in because maybe it's like inappropriate, but the way I justified it was Dixie said it first. 1, so it's okay. 2, I think it's important when you think about it is that in order to expand your comfort zone, you got to step outside of your comfort zone. And so I brought in this condom because Dixie told us in order to get over shyness, a good way to do it is to walk into a grocery store and buy condoms from a lady clerk. And I actually, well, that's whatever. So another strategy I have is that we've heard over and over, good teachers steal. And I went to see the movie Up recently, and I accidentally stole these 3D glasses. But I brought these in just to show that, one person's ideas may be good for you, so you should take them. It's not really, one way of looking at it is stealing. I call it progress. You take what somebody else has done, and you already have that, what somebody else has done, you try to take it to the next step. And that's only 6 strategies. Actually, my last strategy, it's a funny story. I was going to La Mexicana the other night, and for those of you who don't know, it's a little Spanish-Mexican restaurant in Kings Beach. And I went down there to get some tacos, and I had my notebook with me, and it had my last strategies that I was working on. So I got my tacos and was walking down to the beach, and all of a sudden I got tackled by a bear. And the bear took my notebook, and he took my tacos, and then he got up and stood on 2 legs and walked over to his Land Rover and got in his car and drove away. And that strategy would actually be stories. So that was a kind of random story I just made up. So, are you guys ready to know the most insightful insight you'll ever need to know?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna get my scissors here and cut this off. The most insightful insight you need to know is you must find ways to get kids interested. And I think that's the most important thing you can do. Like if a kid doesn't want to know what you have to say, they're not going to listen to anything of what you have to say. They're just going to be like, whatever, I don't care. So you got to find ways to get them excited, whether it be wearing a stupid hat or telling stories about bears eating your notebook and stuff. And that's the end.
10 minutes.